Go.
Hi, I'm Joanne Brief,
I'm Anthony Rosicki.
and we are doing the mock trial for the Headless Cupid. I'm doing the summary, and it starts out, the Headless Cupid begins when the Stanley family moves into a large old country house that later is exposed to be haunted. Problems arise for 11-year-old David as he learns to adjust to his new stepmother. He also learns to take care of his 3 younger siblings. His father is a university professor, and he does not want to make any trouble for him and his new family. It is his new stepsister, Amanda, who is always causing the trouble and tries to cover up to understand that Amanda is supernatural. Amanda seems very different to David because she has a pet crow, wears dark clothes, acts very mysterious, and also has a pet snake. David feels that Amanda is a great threat to peace in their family. Unexplained accidents start happening around the house, which continue to increase when Amanda is around. Amanda learns that the old house has a troubled history of maybe being haunted, and she plays mean games by scaring everyone on the subject, and no one can tell whether it is made up or whether what is real. So every time something goes wrong, every time something is lost, or every time something is heard, they think that it is part of the house. They hear strange noises, they think Amanda. But David becomes very concerned every time that Amanda starts talking about spirits and ghosts around his younger siblings and around him. David knows that he must try to solve the mystery of the Headless Cupid before it destroys his new family. There are times during the story that Amanda tries to share teachings of magic to David and his younger siblings about practicing magic, but it always turns into a scary mess. Amanda tries to get the attention of David and his siblings by showing them different types of witchcraft. Amanda continues to scare her siblings and create new supernatural sounds to act against her mother. Amanda thinks that this is a way of getting her mother's attention. David goes into Amanda's books and finds three books that he pulls out in particularly: Haunted Houses, Supernatural, and the Life of Horrors. Legend has it that the ghost cut off the wooden head of the Cupid on the stairway in that house. Amanda knows that so-called ghost has no return because she is causing all the mischief.
Zilpha Keatley Snyder was the daughter of a rancher and an oil driller, as well as a teacher and homemaker. She had 2 sisters and 2 brothers. One of the brothers were adopted. They lived in a country house during the Depression and World War II. There was a shortage of gasoline and money, so they did not get a chance to get around much or do a lot of exciting things. They raised cats, dogs, rabbits, cows, goats, and horses. They were very lucky to have a library nearby that they could walk to and get reading help from a nice lady at the library. This was great because Mrs. Snyder learned to read when she was 4 years old and was reading about 1 book per day during her first years in school. She was 8 years old when she first started writing and called herself a writer. She did not get to start writing as an adult until after she became a mom of 2 children and 9 years of teaching at elementary school. She found a little time to write about childhood memories, experiences with children, problems children face with peer pressure, and the power of the imagination of children. During one of her lectures, someone from the audience asked her why she became an author. Her answer was that she received great joy in creating a story and sharing it with an audience. The Headless Cupid book was first published in 1971 and was a Newbery Honor book for 1972. It wasn't until 15 years after the 1972 publication that Mrs. Snyder found out about any attacks or challenges on her book. She was surprised and gratified with the challenges that anyone would protest a book about children using their imagination and thinking that talking about ghost spirits and witchcraft could change religious beliefs in a negative way. In fact, the 11-year-old girl, Amanda, in this book teaches a very good lesson about positive and negative ways of getting attention and making friends. She has to learn to get along and make friends with her new stepbrother and stepsister in a positive way instead of trying to scare them. She also has to learn to share her mother with the family. Most of the challenges were from parents. Groups of parents and protesters of supernatural imagination. They all protested to have the book removed from either an elementary or middle school library. She was also honored to have her books listed as challenges along with Tom Sawyer, Julie of the Wolves, and many other famed and gifted writers. There were also challenges to banning the book, including in 1989 for worshiping of Satanism, in 1990 for introducing children to a moral fantasy, and in 1991 for witchcraft and a mock seance. The last recorded challenge was in January 1992. This book made the American Library Association list of the 100 most frequently challenged books for 1990 through 2000.
That's good. All right, can you do your mock trial now? Who's for it? Who's for banning it? Okay, go ahead, Anthony.
I think that the Headless Cupid should be banned because it promotes witchcraft and kind of worshiping the devil, and that sometimes kids just shouldn't be allowed to read things that their parents or other people don't think would be appropriate for certain ages. As some, like if you were 8 years old, it's not really appropriate to learn about witchcraft at a young age because it could just teach you some wrong things. And the book just includes a lot of scaring and things that I guess just wouldn't be positive for kids to read about, and they could sometimes think that that's all right to scare other kids and just kind of be mean. And
Good. Joey?
I am against it being banned because, yes, it has parts where it will scare some people if a young age attempts to read it, and if there's a age limit, I would say that it could be at least 11 or 12 or up. But definitely, if you read Harry Potter books, this is one that you would like. But if you get scared easily and you see stuff that sometimes could make you have bad dreams or something like that, or if your house, like I know when at my house and I have a window open sometimes, like a little crack, and it's windy, you hear like this whistle sound. If you were to read that book and kind of hear that right after, you would think, oh, it's a ghost, because throughout the story, if they even hear that or a creak, they automatically think it's a ghost, it's something trying to haunt us. But it's also, it shows a very good role of but leadership, of how David helps not scare his little sisters, and it shows how you don't want to scare anybody, because at the end, David and his family ends up scaring his new sister Amanda. So that just goes to show that basically what comes around goes around.